Today is March 8, March 8, 2025. Yesterday we were talking about the walking meditation and its benefits. We haven't completed yet. So walking meditation, as the Buddha said in Mahasatipatthana Sutta, whenever we go, we should know that we are going. So here the question may arise, why we should know when we are going that we are going. Why we should know that we are going? Because everybody knows. Everybody knows, even a small child knows that whenever he goes, he knows that he is going. So here the comment in commentary is explained that though we said whenever we know when we are going, but that knowing is just knowing in different ways, means we know we don't know what really the going means, what really the walking means. We think that I am going. There is a I am going. And there is a person is going. But we don't know what really occurring in that going process. So therefore we have to observe very closely when we are going, when we are walking. If you said, I know I'm walking, I'm going, and we think there is I or there is self, there is person, then that is not the correct way. And that type of knowing is not according to the Satipatthana Bhavana. That type of knowing is not the real knowing that we have to know. Therefore, if we are very mindful and if we put effort in every steps we are making, if we are noting very effectively, then we comes to know what really walking means. So therefore, in order to know the very true dhammas arising at that very moment of walking or going, we have to put an ardent effort and we have to aim. And we have to develop mindfulness and concentration so that we can see the dhammas very distinctly, very clearly. Therefore, walking meditation in Satipatthana Bhavana, walking meditation is also as important as sitting meditation. So yesterday we were talking about the benefits of the walking meditation also. And in the Chankama Sutta, the discourse on walking meditation, the Buddha has mentioned about the 5 benefits. The Buddha has mentioned the 5 benefits of walking meditation in the discourse of Chankama, Chankama Sutta. The first benefit mentioned is if one do walking, one will gain a strength to walking. Means one is able to go on a long journey. One will not feel tired. Nowadays, everywhere, whenever we travel, we use the vehicles. But in olden days, they don't have the vehicles. They don't have a transportation. So they have to walk from one place to another place. Whenever they want to travel, they have to walk. So by doing walking, we have a strength in walking. We don't feel tired very quickly. If we have a habit of walking, we don't feel very tired. We can walk a long distance. So that is the benefit, one benefit of walking. And the second benefit is, in Pali, it is padhana kamo hoti, means we will have a very sharp and strong effort. Padhana, the Pali word padhana is exertion, it is an effort. So uh, in walking, in walking meditation, we need to put two types of effort. Two types of effort. In sitting meditation, after arranging our posture, after keeping the body straight, body upright, now we just need to put effort to observe the every arising objects. We don't need to put too much effort to keep our body upright. But in walking meditation, in every steps, we have to put effort to step in. Right step, left step, and lifting, placing, or lifting, moving, placing. We have to put a normal mental energy. So without that mental energy, our legs will not move. It will remain where it is. So in order to move the legs from one place to another, we have to put effort. And in the practice, in the Satipatthana practice, when we are mindfully doing this meditation, in walking also we have to do mindfully, then we have to put another mental effort so that we can keep our noting mind on that steps from the very beginning till the end. If we don't put mental effort, we will not know anything about that steps. We will not know anything about the steps. So we need two kinds of effort in walking. The first effort is to move the legs from one place to another place. And this another effort, another mental effort is to know the natures, to follow it from very beginning to the end, so that we come to know the true natures of that steps. So if we continuously exerting effort in doing walking meditation, then the effort becomes very sharp and strong. So that is the another benefit that we gain by doing walking meditation. And the third benefit is we gain the health. Yeah. In daily life also, we walk. We do morning walk or sometimes evening walk. That is for our physical health. Yeah. So by doing walking meditation, our health becomes good. Walking is the good exercise. If you are suffering with the high cholesterol, the doctor said that walking is the best remedy for that high cholesterol. If you can walk 10,000 steps daily, the cholesterol will be decreased. So walking is the best way to lower the cholesterol. So when we walk, we gain that type of health. Whatever we eat, it digests also. That is the fourth benefit. For the digestion, walking is also the very good practice. So after having food, instead of sitting down or lying down, if we walk for maybe half an hour, it helps to digest the food. Whatever we have eaten, it will be digest, and we will gain the good health. So those are also the benefits of the walking meditation. For the proper digestion, the walking is very good technique for the proper digestion. And the fifth benefit, this one we already talked yesterday, that through walking meditation, we can gain the very good concentration, good samadhi. We can gain the very good concentration, long-lasting concentration. Yeah. Now let's see how we can gain this type of concentration, how we develop the knowledge in walking meditation. In walking, the first we do right step, left step, and when we walk right and left step, we keep our mind on the legs. We are aiming the legs and we are putting effort so that the noting mind reaches the movement in the legs. So when the mind reaches on the movements of the legs, we can see something. We can see something. We can experience something. At the beginning of the practice, because our mindfulness is not very sharp yet, not very strong yet, and concentration also not good yet, sometimes we see only the leg, the form of leg. We think our mind is on the leg, but we don't see the true natures, but we sometimes feel our leg. But when we keep on noting that way repeatedly, not just for one time, every time we try to keep our mind, try to pay attention on the legs, our mind reaches the movement of the legs. So every time when we put effort, we develop mindfulness and also the concentration. The noting mind sticks on the movement of the legs and it stays there for a while, even for a while, even for a very short movement. So thus we develop mindfulness and concentration, and slowly sometimes we come to see how the steps occurring, the manner of the steps. And if we continue practice that way, and mindfulness and concentration becomes even stronger than before, then we come to see the very true nature of the movements. Especially when we are doing the third phase of walking, lifting, moving, and placing. When concentration is good, we can see the natures, maybe at the beginning very roughly, sometimes a bit lightness, a bit stiffness, a bit tension, or some force, the pushing or pulling force. But when we continue to be mindful, putting effort and aiming, then we come to see not just one lifting, not just one tension, not just one stiffness, many tensions, many stiffness occurring one after another. We also comes to see the intention to lift. Yeah, actually, this walking, these movements, lifting, moving, and placing, it is caused by the mind. The mind wants to walk, the mind wants to lift, the mind wants to move, the mind wants to place down, and that mind causes the air element. That mind causes the air element, and that air element, it spread throughout the body. And because of that, there occurs the movements, moving from one place to another place. Actually, walking is the whole body moving forward, not only the two legs moving forward. The whole body is moving forward. That is walking, that is moving, that is lifting, that is moving and placing. So at the beginning, we may not see that cause. We may not see that cause because the mindfulness is not very strong yet, the concentration is not good yet. We don't see that wanting mind, the mind. But because we don't see that mind, that is why we think that I am walking. I am walking. A person is walking. There is a self that is walking. But when we are doing walking meditation very effectively, very precisely, very mindfully, and very respectfully, we develop that mindfulness very quickly. The mind sticks with the object, sticks with these movements of lifting, moving, and placing. And when the mind sticks with that lifting, moving, and placing movements, the mind becomes calm and collected on that movements, that object. That is concentration. The mind is concentrated on the movements, and so now we see there is a mind, wanting mind, intending mind, and because of that, the movements occur. If there is no intention, then the movements will not occur. So we come to see that way. And then we can understand that, oh, there is no I or no person, or there is no self. No one is asking to do lift, move, and place. No one is asking, no one is ordering, no one is giving an order to lift the legs, to move, and to place down the legs. What really is there is the intention to lift, intention to move and place down. So therefore, lifting is happening, moving is happening, and placing down is happening. So that way we come to understand. And the wrong view of I, person, self is dispelled. So therefore, in order to be able to know the true natures occurring at that very moment, we have to do walking meditation very effectively, very carefully. And for that, the effort is very essential. We have to exert effort. We want to go fast, but we have to control ourselves. We have to control ourselves. We try to move slowly again, slowly and mindfully. Only the physical motion is slow if the mind is not focusing that movement. Mind is thinking this and that, imagining this and that, then our body will not be in balance. We may fall down. But as long as we are very mindful, very careful, although sometimes we feel our body is not in balance, we are about to fall down, but we will not fall down because we are very mindful. The mindfulness is there. So as long as mindfulness is there, we will not fall down. But the physical motion is very slow. The mind is thinking something else, not focusing the movements, then we might fall down. So that one we have to be very careful. And in walking meditation, as we are doing the 3 phases of walking, the first phase, right and left, noting right step and left step. The second phase, lifting and placing. And the third one, lifting, moving, and placing. The concentration we gain in each phase is different, not same. When we do the right and left, the first phase of walking, the concentration is, the gross form of concentration is the low grade, not the high quality one. Because the movement is not very slow. When we do right step and left step, the movement is not very slow one. It's sometimes we do in the normal pace, one step after another step. So the concentration we gain in that step is of the low grade. But when we move to the second phase, lifting and placing, 2 notings in each step. This one we cannot do faster. Yeah? If we do faster like lifting, placing, that way, Only there is labeling, lifting and placing. The mind uh, is not focusing the actual movements. The noting mind will not reach the movements, actual movements. There is just a naming of lifting and placing. If you lift very quickly, if you place down very quickly, that is not the proper way of walking. So when do lifting and placing, we have to lift slowly. And also when we place down, we have to place down slowly. And the concentration uh, we gain from this doing the second phase of walking is the medium type of concentration. We do slowly, but not very slowly as we do in the third phase. So the concentration gained from doing the second phase of walking is the medium type of concentration. But the low grade concentration and this medium type of concentration is also not bad. It is still good. Why? Because our mind is, at least our mind is on that object. The mind is not wandering. Yeah, the mind is not traveling. The mind is not thinking. The mind is there on the object, on the legs, movements. So, although not the high quality of concentration we gain from the first and second phase of walking, but this is still very good and this is supportive. This is supportive for the third phase of walking. The low grade concentration is very supportive to the medium grade concentration. So, although we don't see the very true natures very distinctly, very clearly, but it is still very good because our mind is not thinking nonsense. We are having mindfulness. It is still very good. And when we do the last phase, lifting, moving, and placing, that when we do that lifting, moving, and placing very slowly and very carefully, very mindfully, we gain very good concentration. The mind will be just concentrated on those movements. The mind will be just concentrated on those movements, and the mind also, the noting mind also notice, or the noting mind also knows the very true natures occurring on that movements, on those movements, lifting, moving, and placing. So the concentration we gain in that third phase of walking is a very good concentration, the high quality concentration. So when we have that high quality concentration, we see the true natures. Because Vipassana practice is to know the true natures of mind and body. We do Vipassana practice is to know the true natures of our mind and body. Therefore, in walking meditation, in doing lifting, moving, and placing, when we do that practice very precisely and very effectively, we comes to see the very true natures of that lifting. What is lifting? We come to know that. At the beginning, we may feel our legs and also some natures. But when we keep on practicing, sometimes we don't feel legs. We don't feel legs, but we only feel or we only experience the real physicality occurring there. Because lifting, moving, and placing is a matter, is a physicality, rupa. So we only feel the true natures. Sometimes we don't feel our legs. Some pushing force, some pulling force, the lightness, sometimes some tension, some stiffness. So those are the things that we are supposed to see, supposed to experience. And we are doing Vipassana practice in order to know, in order to experience those natures. So that way, when we do practice, we gain the different kinds of concentration, and those concentration are called actually the momentary concentration, because this concentration occurs moment by moment. But when we continue practice, this momentary concentration becomes very strong, and especially in the third phase of walking, we develop the knowledge. Knowing the very true natures of walking is means developing nature, jnana, knowledge. First, we see the true natures, sabhava, which is also called sarasa. Every physicality and every mentality has its own natures. The mind has its own nature, own characteristics, and the physical objects, the lifting. Yesterday we said in during lifting, the air element and fire element is more stronger than other two. So air element, fire element, what is the nature of that air element? What is the nature of that fire element? So those natures we come to see. The air element has a nature or the characteristic like movements, tension, stiffness, pushing or pulling, or pressure. So that is the nature of air element. And the fire element has a nature of lightness, sometimes heat, warmth, cold. So those are the nature of fire elements. We come to experience that natures. In moving forward also, we come to experience sometimes pushing from behind or sometimes pulling from the front. So that is the nature of air element. And in placing down, the earth element and the water element is more stronger than other two. Means sometimes we feel the earth element has a nature of hardness and softness and roughness, smoothness. The water element has a nature of heaviness and flowing. So we experience those things. So if we continuously keep on noting, we come to know those natures, and every physicality has those natures that is called sabhava, individual natures of the physical objects, and also the mental objects. Mind also has its individual nature. And they are also called the sarasa. Sarasa is like taste of the food. Every food got its own flavor, own taste. Same way, every physicality and mentality has its own taste, own flavor. And in practice, in Vipassana practice, we have to know those natures, those flavors of the physicality and mentality. Therefore, we have to focus whatever objects we note. In walking meditation, all the time we have to focus on the leg movements. Sometimes during walking, we might experience something in the upper part of the body. Sometimes the headache, sometimes the shoulders are very stiff, tight and tensed, some discomfort in the upper part of the body, itchiness, and so on. But while moving our legs, we do not need to note, do not need to observe those sensations on the upper part of the body. We notice it and we immediately bring our attention back to the leg movements. Yeah? But sometimes those sensations very strong and you cannot continue walking. If you feel like that, then you can stop. Stop walking and observe those sensations. And after that, then keep on walking again. While walking, while our legs are in motion, then we don't need to note, don't need to observe those sensations in the upper part of in the upper body. We recognize it, that is enough. And we immediately goes back to the leg movement. So just now we talk about the three grades of concentration in walking meditation. Some yogis sometimes they say that when they do the first phase of walking right and left, the mind is not wandering. They can focus on the leg movements. But when they do the third phase, lifting, moving, and placing, the mind wanders a lot. When they do the third phase, they see that the mind wanders a lot. There are many thoughts arising when they do the lifting, moving, and placing. So what they do that, they switch to the first phase. They just do right and left because not many thoughts when they do right and left. But here we should understand the first phase, our concentration is not very good. Yeah, like a low grade concentration, not strong concentration. So when the concentration is not good, we didn't see the wandering mind. Again, the movements also not very slow, the movements fast. Right step, left step. Though there is wandering mind, but we didn't notice it. We didn't see it. Therefore, we think that when we do right and left, the mind doesn't wander. It barely wanders. Yeah, there is no thoughts. That's what we think. But actually, it is not like that. When we do lifting, moving, and placing very carefully, very slowly, because we are very attentive. We are very attentive. We are focusing the movements and we are putting effort. So the noting mind reaches that um, object of lifting, moving, and placing. Then we come to see, we come to understand the nature of mind. Though we want to keep our attention on the lifting, moving, and placing, but the mind doesn't stay there. The mind just looking a chance to wander, to go here and there. Though we want to keep our attention on the legs, but no, it very quickly the mind wanders. So we come to know the nature of the mind. The mind is very fast moving. So we come to know that. That means we are improving. We are progressing in the practice. We are progressing in the practice because now we can see how fast the mind wanders, how it is difficult to keep the mind on the object. How difficult. If we didn't do that type of walking in slow motion, we won't be able to know the nature of our mind. We always think that I can keep my mind wherever I want. I can control my mind. But it is not like that. So therefore, if you feel in doing the first phase of walking, the mind is more concentrated than in the third phase. That is not correct. So don't worry that when you do lifting, moving, and placing, you feel your mind wanders a lot. Don't worry that your practice is very good. Because now you are this shows that you are very careful. You are very careful and you are walking very respectfully. You are trying to note very effectively, very precisely. That is why you come to know the nature of the mind. And because you have many hours of walking, you have done many hours of walking. So after each sitting meditation, you do walking meditation. So when you go for the interview, you have to report about walking meditation also. What did you experience in walking meditation? You have done many hours of walking, but you don't need to report every hours. You can choose the most prominent one, the most good one. You can report about that walking. You don't need to tell everything. Yeah, that is also very important. Then we can see how the yogi is doing. So that's what the Buddha teaches us in Satipatthana Sutta. The walking meditation is also very important part in practicing Satipatthana meditation. In Buddha's time also, the Buddha himself, after becoming enlightened, he did walking for 7 days non-stop. Yeah, right after becoming Buddha. And the Venerable Ananda, before he became Arahant, he was doing walking meditation for whole night. He was doing walking meditation for whole night, and later he feel that, oh, too much effort. Because just now we said in walking meditation, we have double effort. We have to put double effort. So Venerable Ananda thinks, oh, I think the effort is too excessed, too much effort. So I should take some rest mindfully. When he tries to rest mindfully, then he became arhat. Yeah, and during Buddha's time also there is a one bhikkhuni who ordained at the old age when he became old. Actually, um, he has 14 children, 7 sons and 7 daughters, and he divided his wealth, his property to all of them, thinking that children, her children will take care of her. But the things don't happen like that. So he came to the nunnery and ordained as a bhikkhuni. During daytime, he has a duty, the monastic duty. So he do meditation at night time. The whole night he do meditation. She do meditation the whole night. She do sitting meditation and walking meditation also. Though she is very old, she do walking, and she is afraid of falling down also. Therefore she tied ropes between 2 trees, and holding that rope, she do walking meditation. And later she became arhat. So doing walking meditation very effectively, respectfully, while doing walking also, one can gain the Pata and Purusha knowledge, the higher knowledges one can gain. Therefore, walking meditation is also very important part, and may you all be able to do walking meditation very effectively and precisely, so that your sitting meditation also will be very good, and in daily activities also you will be able to keep your mindfulness continuous, and you will gain the insight knowledges very quickly.